Well, thank you everyone for coming to the first annual Microchip Your Pet Day at the state capitol. It's so important that we microchip pets because the statistics show that pets that are not microchipped, there is only a 13% chance of being reunited with their owners. But if you microchip your pet, then there's a 74% chance that the pet will be returned to you. And today we have supporters who are urging people to microchip their pets. I want to thank Found Animals for donating hundreds and hundreds of free microchips. I'd like to thank SPCA for donating their time as well as their mobile adoption pet trailer here. Let me thank all the volunteers and vet techs and veterinarians who are taking their time today to both microchip the pets as well as to provide low-cost vaccinations. And also let me thank Judy Mancuso of Social Compassion and Legislation, without whose efforts today would not be possible. So today on the Senate floor, I'm pleased to report the entire Senate passed SCR 51 declaring July 7th, 2011 as Microchip Your Pet Day. And we have hundreds of people here who are braving the heat to get their pets microchipped. We also have elected officials here in support. And just a couple more statistics. Every year in California, we impound over 1 million animals. Half of them are euthanized. This is a huge cost to the state and to counties and cities, over $300 million a year. I've introduced SB 702, which would mitigate those costs by requiring folks who adopt animals from shelters to microchip their pets within 30 days. And also, if you lose your pet, find it at a shelter, you also have to microchip the pet within 30 days. And that bill is now in the Assembly side, and I urge the Assembly to pass it and the Governor to sign it. With me here today, we have Assemblymember Dr. Pan and Assemblymember Mariko Yamada and Assemblymember Roger Dickinson. Let me call Assemblymember Pan up here to make a few remarks.
Thank you. Thank you, Senator Lieu. I want to thank the Sacramento SPCA, Found Animals, California Veterinarians Association, and Social Compassion and Legislation for sponsoring today's very important event. And of course, I want to thank Judy Mancuso for her tireless efforts to protect our animal friends. Thousands of pets are needlessly ending up in shelters every year. These animals have loving families that are missing them but have been detached from their homes. That's why I must commend Senator Ted Lieu so much for once again leading the way for bringing smart, sensible legislation to the Capitol. By increasing microchipping in our pets, we will save animal lives, restore families with their loved pets, and save our local and state governments millions of dollars in needlessly killing dogs and cats. And I am excited to support this important legislation, SB 702, when it comes to the Assembly floor for a vote. With more than 80% of dogs in California being unlicensed, we do not have the information we need to reunite families for too many pets who are lost. This is information we can use to stop needlessly euthanizing animals. This is also why I have legislation AB 1121 to increasing licensing of dogs while they're puppies and thereby increase revenue for local governments for animal shelters. Senator Lieu and my legislation complement each other and are necessary to tackle the epidemic of overcrowded shelters, wasted money, and needless deaths that have faced California's pets for too long. And I want to thank you again, Senator Lieu, for supporting this great cause, and as a Sacramento legislature, thank you for having all the supporters for having this wonderful event here in Sacramento and protecting our community. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thank you, Dr. Pan. And let me now call up Assemblywoman Mariko Yamada.
Well, good morning. Thank you, Senator Lieu, for including all of us in this very important event today. You know, there are some in this state that say our Capitol building has gone to the dogs. Well, today it's a good thing that the Capitol has gone to the dogs because we're here really to put a spotlight on the important issues that my previous colleagues have already spoken to. But you know, just coming here on the grounds today and seeing other people's pets, you know, really just gives you a good feeling when you know that pets not only provide companionship and make us all feel better. But they are really members of our family. And since we don't have an Amber Alert for pets, microchipping is really like what I'd call a high-tech version of a miniature Amber Alert for our pets. We know that we have an assembly member here right now serving Ben Hueso, who had a personal experience and had his dog returned to him through the use of that high technology. And he was very happy, brought his pet to the Capitol, and we were all witness to the happy reunion. So thank you so much for all of you, all the sponsors and all the supporters today. I'm very proud also to represent what I believe to be not only the best veterinary school in the state, probably the country and the whole world, UC Davis Veterinary School. Thank you so very much.
Thank you. And let me now call up Assembly Member Roger Dickinson.
Thank you, Senator Lieu. Of course, I'm especially pleased to join Senator Lieu and my Assembly colleagues because we're standing in the Assembly District that I'm lucky enough to represent. So it's nice to have you here in my home. And I want to thank the sponsors as well as Senator Lieu for putting today's event together, including the Sacramento SPCA, the Social Compassion and Legislation, California Registered Veterinary Technicians Association, and the other organizations that are here. As a Sacramento County supervisor for nearly 17 years, I lived with the dismay each and every year about the number of lost pets who ultimately were unable to be returned to their owners and were subsequently euthanized. It was a very sad, sad reality for all of us, particularly those working in our animal care department, who love animals enormously, as you can imagine, and yet found themselves with the very regrettable task of putting animals to death. In Sacramento County, in fact, last year, 37,800 lost animals entered our shelters, and remarkably, only 7.4% were returned to their owners. Less than 35% were adopted or rescued, and 22,000 lost dogs and cats were euthanized. This simple procedure of adding a microchip will allow us to ensure that many, many more lost pets are happily returned to their owners to live out a life of enjoyment and comfort for both the pet, him or herself, and the owner and the family. This is truly something that we can do to make a real difference in pet health and safety, and we can improve the quality of life in our communities by ensuring that many, many fewer families suffer the angst, the anxiety, the stress, the sense of loss that comes when a beloved pet is no longer part of life. So once again, I want to thank Senator Lieu, and I want to thank particularly all of those who are stretching out across Capitol Park. The line now is becoming longer than we can see, because these are very, very responsible and loving pet owners. That's what we hope to encourage more of as we look forward to the day when all pets can be microchipped and all pets can be loved and have homes where they are safe. Thanks very much.
Thank you. Thank you. And now let me call up Judy Mancuso, the driving force behind this event.
Hi. Hi, everyone. I'm Judy Mancuso with Social Compassion and Legislation. And as an animal advocate, I'd like to thank Senator Lieu and the Assembly members that are here who understand what it means to be humane and to get people to be responsible with their pets so that government doesn't have to absorb the cost. And we can do that through microchipping our pets to make sure that they come home instead of fill our shelters only to be euthanized. And of course, to spay and neuter your pets so that unwanted animals don't end up in the shelters as well. So thank you all for being here today, and I want to thank our animal-friendly legislators and thank all the responsible pet owners. Thank you. For people that show up today and we don't get to them, or for staff that's working in the building, we will give them a voucher that they can then go and get their microchip and low-cost vaccine at the local SPCA. So thank you.
Thank you. Let me just conclude briefly that if you have not had your pet microchip, you can contact the local SPCA or contact your local veterinarian, and they will help you microchip your pet. So happy to answer any questions. Under my legislation, SB 702, two requirements. If you want to adopt any pet from a shelter, once you make the adoption, you have 30 days in which you have to microchip the pet. Second requirement is if you already have a pet and then you lose, let's say your dog or cat, and then you find it at a shelter later, same law applies. You have to, when you get the pet back, microchip the pet. Some places do it for free, and we're doing it here for free. Some places will charge $10 to $20. Some places will charge $50. It's up to free market forces and where you go. No, because most places it's a relatively low cost to microchip your pet. And in fact, the actual cost of microchip is not very high, and it drops every year. Yes, so statistics show that for folks who have pets that are not microchipped, and if they get lost, only 13% are returned. If you have a microchip on your pet, it's nearly 3/4. About 74% of the time, you will get your dog or cat or other animal back. And so it's a really big advantage for you to get your pet's microchip. As soon as my two children get a little bit older, and I hope they're not hearing this, but they will get a dog, and the dog will be microchipped. So. You could theoretically microchip any sort of animal. Primarily, the people here today I've seen are primarily dogs and cats. I will get back to you on that and see if it classifies exactly which animals. So. Well, thank you very much. Appreciate it.